Hello. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to I feel like we host a talk show or something. The Monday night show or Monday morning show with Alex and Kristen. So we go live every Monday at this time to chat about yoga philosophy, and we're making our way through different yoga philosophy concepts. So we covered the yamas, which are kind of like the the ethical commitments, and then we're in the niyamas right now, which are the kind of like personal commitments of yoga. So how are you doing, Kristen, on this Monday?
I'm doing well. Hi, Princess. I was just saying to Alex, I took the weekend to kind of just rest and reset, which was just nice. Did a lot of house stuff, but ready for the week, and I'm excited to be here and chat about this. This is really love this topic today.
It's a good one. And I had a similar kind of weekend, I must say. I really didn't do much. I was pretty tired. I had a yoga teacher training group leave and a new retreat come in. And I actually was so tired that I felt like I couldn't even watch a movie. I just felt like I just had to sit and literally do nothing. And so I did that for a few hours on Sunday. It was good.
I can so relate to that. I tried to watch a movie, but just fell asleep on the couch.
Must have needed rest. So for anyone that's jumping on and joining us live, if you just want to let us know where you are in the world and what you're up to. And our topic today is Samtosha, and Samtosha is pretty much about contentment. And when I was brainstorming or doing a little bit of Googling into Samtosha, what does Samtosha mean? How do we practice it? I came across and was thinking a lot about practicing gratitude. And I was thinking maybe if you were into it, we could kick this off with what are some things you're grateful for today?
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. What am I? Oh man, I have so much. Okay. On a personal, home front level, I go down to simple basics of I'm super grateful that I have a home. I have shelter and a roof over my head. I have food on the table. I have a loving family. And I am here today. That's one thing or a few things that I'm grateful for. And then I expand that out. And then I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for the friendships that I have in my life. I'm grateful for my pet. I'm grateful for, work colleagues and that kind of thing. And then if you expand that out more, I'm grateful for the planet, Mother Earth, etc. So I think I can take it on multiple levels, but yeah. How about you?
Love it. Love that. Man, I'm grateful to have a roof over my head too. And I've been thinking about that because I've had so many housing issues during my time in Bali, but I've always had a home, no matter where that home is. I've always had a roof over my head and food to eat. Man, I'm so lucky to have nutritious food to eat. My cat came to come on my lap as I started doing this call. I'm super grateful for my cat because she's been a constant for the past 2 years. And my community, my friendships, a lot of things to be grateful for.
I love that practice. It's just such a beautiful grounding way to go into your day and to also close out your day. Just taking a few seconds to write down a couple things that you're grateful for at the beginning and the end.
I need to be more consistent about it.
Me too.
Because it feels really good. That felt really good just talking about those things, but I'm not very good about following through. So
I can relate to that. It's funny. I took the journal template that you I think shared with the community, and I was really good about doing it for a few days. But I think it can slip as life gets busy. But it's a really beautiful thing just to come back to and ground yourself in.
Yeah. And Leanne says, good morning. Leanne's popping on for a few minutes before her yoga. Amazing. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
So what does Samtosha mean to you? And what are your practices around Samtosha?
This has been a really big focus. As I was researching it, I realized just how much I was focusing on this without realizing it. Because throughout the years, I often had the mindset of I will be happy when. And then fill in the blank with whatever, whether that was buy my house, not get a partner, but have a healthy partner, have that new blank, whether it's a materialistic thing or whatever it is, or, once I make X amount of money a year, whatever it was, you can fill in the blank with anything. And I think wanting to grow and expand yourself is a beautiful thing. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think for me, it was when it was starting to become unhealthy, like when I was basing my entire sense of self around those things. And like that being when I will be happy, when I will feel peace. But then you get those things and that feeling that you're trying to run from or heal and think like, oh, this will be the thing that does it. It doesn't. And then you're just fixating that onto the next thing. So I think for me, that was a huge one. Because when I got this house, it'll be 5 years in November. I was like, okay, like I'm finally going to be happy. This is going to be the thing. And it had been like just a couple months since I lost my dad. And I thought this would be the thing that would heal me. And it was actually the thing that spiraled me and like threw me full tilt into my feelings of like grief and navigating that, because a move can really just like disrupt our energy, our comfort, like you're taken out of anything, and it can really trigger a lot. And so it was a awakening for me that, you know, my happiness isn't in those objects. Like you have to create and cultivate the contentment and the happiness within yourself. And so I think what we just did by opening with what are we grateful for, it kind of brings you back into yourself, into the moment. And there'll be things that you're like, I need to let go of this because it's not serving me, but I'm grateful kind of for this. So that was a huge way of practicing it for me, is letting go of that whole notion of I'll be happy when.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you brought that up, because this was one of my biggest things throughout my life too. You know, I'll be happy when I get to university. I'll be happy when I, move away to school. I'll be happy when it's vacation, whatever. And what I found is like, it's almost like especially as I started to hit milestones with my business, I kept thinking like this would make me happy. I'll be happy when I move to Bali. I'll be happy when I'm making this much money. And what I found within myself is like the bar is always being raised higher. And it's so easy for me to just like get discontented and like run. Like I have this dream job right now at this yoga school. I'll give you this example. And at the sign of like a few conflicts with people, I was like, I'm quitting, I'm leaving, like after like 2 months. And it's just like such an example of like, okay, this is obviously something that I need to work on within me. And this is why this is showing up, and the bar doesn't need to be any higher. Like it's high enough. And I need to just focus on finding joy with like exactly where I'm at and where I found myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I suspect a lot of people can resonate with this kind of notion. And I think if we expand it a little bit more too, is sometimes it's not even like that, those objects of like when we get like the job or whatever, but sometimes we have this habit of having this never ending like list of things that we want to make better about ourselves. And then we'll be happy when we get that. So whether it's achieve headstand or achieve handstand or change our appearance or have different habits, like, et cetera, like, we can get into a really unhealthy space with like that list. And so the truth is like, we're perfect and whole as we are. Are there things that we can work on? Maybe it's like diving deeper into our spiritual practice, or like there's no harm and there's nothing wrong with like wanting to, eat nourishing foods, care for your body. That's beautiful if you choose to do that, but it's not having that lens of harm on yourself and like less than with yourself. And I think it's just like coming into, again, a space of just appreciating yourself, loving yourself, and being the best you that you can be, that feels good and true to you without trying to like change who you are, and just being content with all that you are. Like so many of us like are like, all we see is our flaws, I'm going to call them, like from that perspective. And just like, if you had your flaws that you felt, it would be like, how would, like if you could shift your thinking into like, how does Kristen see me, for example? Like, I don't see any of those flaws. And just like you looking at me, you don't see what I'm, beating myself up over. And so if we can kind of just shift to out of that like flaw mentality and like, just like looking at yourself with pure love, like I think it can just really elevate us and like let go of some of that harmful thinking.
What practices do you use that help you get into that mind state?
It's a work in progress. I think some really good ways that I can get just like into my body is by movement. Like I've been saying lately, like I feel like movement is medicine for me. And so I think like whatever it is, whether it's yoga, whether it's, going to the gym and doing a workout, just like getting into your body is a really beautiful way to work on this. And as well as just like living in the present moment, if you're noticing that your thoughts are going down that route, just like bring yourself back, and maybe it's doing the five senses. Like, what are things that I see, hear, smell? Again, rooting yourself back into the body. So as much as we can come back into ourselves, I have found that that's been really helpful of just getting me out of that spiral of thoughts. Because once you have that one thought, you can quickly go down that rabbit hole. And maybe it's even writing down 5 things, 3 things, 1 thing, whatever it is that you love about yourself. What is it that I love about me? And then just expand that list, come back to that list, and just really cultivate that contentment, which is Samtosha, in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. These are so many great examples, and it's so funny how it feels like the solution. I feel like we talk about a lot of these things, and a lot of the answers, like we're like, okay, what practices can we do for these to like help us with these yamas and niyamas? And so often it comes back to the same things. It's like movement, it's like eating well, it's meditation, being part of community. Like all of these things are going to help us, be more nonviolent and be honest with ourselves and tell the truth, and then practice contentment. And all of these things work together so holistically.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love talking about these things because I think they're so woven together. And I think the ultimate, to what you literally just said, like the ultimate is getting into your body, and some of these things will come, right? Like it's not how do you practice? Because if you're thinking about like all the yamas, all the niyamas, it can feel like maybe overwhelming of like, how do I practice all of them? But I think like as you just get into your body, they start to just come naturally, right? And so it's not like I got to practice this and this and this. It's just let's get grounded, and let's it kind of just like comes to us.
Yeah, so true. All right, I'm going to share some practices and journal prompts. Let me just pull them up to share these every week with us. So Samtosha, contentment, some practices for Samtosha. So we did this at the beginning, but practicing gratitude, remaining in the state, a strong daily meditation practice, trying to appreciate what you have in the now and accept where you are. So instead of constantly looking forward, just being in the present, just trying to be accepting of, whatever scenario you're in, whether, you like something or dislike it, just avoiding that, thinking of like, oh, I like this, I dislike this, or I love this, I hate this, or whatever. And I think a big one is about giving other people power over our emotions. So letting other people kind of shape our emotions, and starting to understand that that's something within us that we can start to control over.
Love that.
And I think the best journal prompt is what we were talking about earlier, which is just daily gratitude practice. And I think it would be great. Maybe that's something we can do this week, is like, I can set up some daily gratitude prompts for our Facebook group. I think that would be a really good practice for this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that idea. And one thing I think I'm going to also start doing this week is just take 2 minutes, place your hands over your heart space, and just feel and say to yourself, like, this is me, this is home, this is where I will find contentment. Maybe just repeating those affirmations as you feel your heart beating under your hand. Like that's a really beautiful way to just connect inward.
Love that. Love it. Beautiful. Are there any other thoughts you want to wrap up on, or things you want to share?
I think those were the main ones. Yeah.
Amazing. I love getting together on Mondays and chatting all things yoga philosophy with you and with everyone in the group. So we'll be back next week to talk about tapas, which is discipline or commitment. And if anyone watching this is curious to get more involved in our community, do a live program with me and Kristen, we have 2 different programs that we run. We have a Sober Girls Yoga 30-day challenge, which is starting very soon, October 1st. If you want to do Sober October and kick that off with us, we would love that. And then also the 200-hour yoga teacher training. And we're going to have a new cohort starting later in October. So DM us if you have any questions, and we will see you soon.
Awesome. See you soon.